This is Pete Stern.
And this is Brian Erickson.
And we are but 2/5 of a band called The Extensions. Yeah, so we started in, I guess the idea of the band came about in, let's say like the summer of 2016 even. You know, we started talking about it. But, we had met, Pete and I specifically had met, I guess, 2014, sort of in that last...
2015-ish.
Yeah, summer of 2014 at the Rail House. And, I saw Centennials play, and it was at that final little wave of the New Brunswick scene. I don't know what's going... I mean, there's, a little bit of a scene there still, but it's that kind of last, big push.
Yeah.
And...
good old days.
Yeah, and, Centennials and my old band, the Paper Jets, played a bunch of shows together. I thought you didn't really like us at first, actually.
Why?
Because you were very particular about your drum set. And I understand why. It just, I guess we were always so used to everybody just being like, all right, yeah, everybody just use whatever stuff. And, to have somebody actually value their things enough to be like, you know what? No, you can't use it.
Well, because I'd just gotten it too. I was like maybe the second show I had played with a new kit, and then Frank, he was nice about it, but he was like, "Can I use your kit?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't know if I."
I remember that show too. That was you guys, us, the Vaughns, and Afraid Brigade at the Saint.
Oh man,
that was a show.
That's a good lineup. Yeah,
that was a good lineup, but that was it. I was like, oh, that drummer, I don't know, he's a little chilly. But that was it. That's how we met. And I guess, I don't know, I guess Centennials were being taken a little less seriously by that time, by 2016, was that?
I don't know. No, we were on a little bit of a hiatus. We thought it was going to be a little bit longer than it turned out to be because Steve was having a kid. So,
yeah. How is Finn?
Good.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen him.
Yeah, he's good. Talking.
That's good. It's about time.
You know how they talk.
Those hoiduses. Yeah, those hoiduses can.
I meant kids, but yeah.
Those hoiduses are a bunch of chatterboxes.
So he was. Shelley was about to have the kid, so we were planning on a hiatus and working on a EP to hold us over, and the hiatus ended up being a lot shorter than we thought it would be.
Okay.
So, yeah, and this was also post Rose Boulevard, so I was definitely looking for some kind of music thing.
Looking for a good time. Yeah, because by that point too, I'm pretty sure the Paper Jets were kind of winding down. We hadn't released our last record yet, but I think we were kind of in that, what do we do? Where do we go after this kind of point? Because I think people weren't really too keen on playing live much anymore. And it took us another, 2 years to finally get on a bill and play a show together, as a band.
Your next show after that was the final show?
No. You and I.
Oh, us.
It took us another 2 years from that initial, because we went to the Inkwell.
Right.
You came to see me play at the Inkwell, and we talked about it, and we said, yeah, this could be a good idea, and then just nothing for a year and a half.
It was exactly 2 years later, I think, that we.
Nearly.
Played the first couple of shows.
Yeah, and Fun While You Wait broke up, so that gave us Kevin, our bassist, just kind of swooped right in there and said, hey, Kev, hold on, don't, because I think he got an offer to join Experiment 34, and we were like, don't do that. Come with us instead. And, that's kind of the very long story, and we didn't even have a name yet when we played our first show.
No. Do you remember how we got it?
Yeah. Jesse Elliott said it should be, he said you need something like Elvis Costello and the Attractions. So he said Brian Erickson and the Extensions. And then we played together and we liked it, and we said, okay, well, do we want to actually be a band, or do you guys just want to be like, a pair of dudes, and I'll just be, I will assume the responsibilities. And you guys were like, no, we can be a band. So my name got dropped, which is fine by me.
But do you remember when it actually stuck?
No.
I think it was
a couple shows later. I don't know.
Yeah, it was, what was that place that we played? It was like the second show. With the Foes.
The Paul's Tavern. It was us, the Foes, and Matt Dubrow, the Captives.
Yeah, because Matt was running sound, so Chris was there.
Yeah.
And we hadn't actually ever sat down and said, okay, this is the name. But then Chris introduced us as the Extensions.
Got it.
And then so afterward we were like, yeah, okay.
And I mean, it kind of all makes sense because we were all in other bands too, or we were either in other bands still, or had just, Kevin had just left Fun While You Wait. You still had Centennials, and I still had the Paper Jets. So it was almost like, all right, well, this is just kind of like a little extension off to the side of what everything else was doing. And that stayed true too when Lisa joined, because she was in Dave Mooney's band. Mm-hmm. So we're like, all right, yeah, just everybody side piecing for a little bit till I realized that, I don't know, this is the main project.
Now it's kind of funny that the name basically means like
nothing.
It's the side project, except it's not the side project for any of us.
Yeah, the name means nothing. I've wanted to change the name like 5 times.
It's too late.
Yeah, no, it is. We had T-shirts, albums,
CDs,
and a record
merch
deal
with a name all over it.
Yeah,
this is it.
Yeah, no, we're done.
This is our Foo Fighters. We're stuck with it now.
That's funny. We got involved with We Start Productions after I had been asked to host one of their events in Long Branch, and I guess maybe a week or 2-ish later, the Extensions got asked to participate in one of these events. It's the cool thing about it too, each of these events benefited a local charity. So the one I hosted benefited the Transformative Justice Project, and the one we played benefited an organization called West Side Citizens United, which, West Side Citizens, we're talking about the Asbury Park's West End neighborhood. And that took place at the Saint, and it was like a regular show, that lineup.
Yeah, that was like a show we would have played at any other.
Yeah, that's a show. I think it was on like a Saturday night too, I think. So it's like, yeah, this is a Saturday night at the Saint. We had us, Fake Pockets, Yawn Mower, and Mercury Brothers.
It was a great time.
Yeah.
It was weird to be in there and playing on a empty Saint when like we've seen it packed to the point that you can't even walk.
I know.
And then you're on the stage and there's the lights and the fog machine and everything, but there's nobody there.
Yeah, it was kind of surreal in a way. And, because this is the kind of, it's the kind of community where you go early and you stay late. Like, you don't just show up and then play and leave. Although this particular evening, we were instructed because of the pandemic, we had to show up, play, and then go home. But normally, we'd show up. Mercury Brothers started at 7? So, you get there at 6:30, you order your rounds, you find your spot, and then that's it. We're just there for the next, 4 hours.
Yeah.
But, it was cool to have it. Everybody all knows each other. We're all friends. So it was, us, Fake Pockets, and Yawn Mower are all on the same label.
Yep.
So it's, you're rooting for your friends, you're kind of rooting for your peers, and it was cool to have that, and to, do a live stream and have people kind of just say hey, look, we can't be there, but it's definitely a Saturday night at the Saint.
Yeah.
Either way.
Was that the first show that we did since the pandemic, or the second?
I don't remember. What else did we do?
We did one other live stream. I think this was the first one we did, I think.
Well, yeah, and then we did the Carousel,
Right.
which, is another We Star one.
Right.
I'm sure we'll talk about.
Yeah, for sure. So this was our first show. We maybe practiced once or twice before that, but this was the first time playing a show since everything shut down. So that was also surreal in that way because it had been months since we had had a thing to do.
Yeah, I know. That was... it's just strange circumstances. But, I mean, it was nice, like we said, it was nice to play a show. It was nice to... even though we couldn't really hang out, it was nice to at least, see our friends, as we're loading out and stuff. Oh, hey, what's up, Mike? What's up, Devin? What's up, Dan Abbott? Just whoever we kind of see as we're, loading out and they're loading in and stuff. It's all right, well, we gotta go now. But, it's still cool to just be a part of bringing music. I hate to say bringing music back to Asbury Park because it never exactly left. But just reinforcing it. It was great to be a part of reinforcing this town as a music town first. Right. And kind of showing that despite pandemic circumstances and social distance circumstances and things that the town is resilient and the community is resilient. And, even if you just have to be hey, what's up to your friends, on the way in as they're moving out, it's better than nothing right now. It's better than being completely shut down.
Yeah.
And, this is a pretty cool vehicle to, help make that possible. And, help charities along the way, too.
Yeah. Yeah, playing the Carousel was so cool.
Yeah. I think that was... We were... So the way these worked, that round at the Saint with those other bands, there was a sort of, an election of sorts. Kind of vote for your favorite band, your best performance, whatever. And we were lucky enough. We just edged out Fake Pockets, barely. I think. And then the next round was getting to play the Carousel, which, I agree, was just the coolest thing. So I think they closed it. I went to the final Carousel show in 2015, 2016. It was Low Light and Roy Orbitron. And I think Dentist. It was a Little Dickman Records showcase.
I remember I wasn't there, but I remember seeing the pictures of Low Light playing and just oh, that's so cool. I want to do that.
I know. And nobody did it for that, for whatever that was, 4 or 5 years. Nobody got to do it.
Yeah.
And then, to hear that was the next, to hear back and say, we won. And the next round is going to be in the Carousel. And what's cooler still is when we played our set, Colin from Lowlight works at Watermark, and he came down and he's just peering through. He's is that the Extensions? So it was just cool. One of the people from the last band to play there was just, it just kind of was there too.
Yeah, just look over and there's Colin just waving.
Yeah. And so, I don't know, it was just cool to, open it back up for the day.
Awesome.
And the other band that I guess there was another sort of vote, the band that we graciously were defeated by, Sunshine Spaz. Those guys are freaking awesome.
Yeah, they were great. They were taping when we showed up, and we were just people were gathering around just to look through the windows and see, watch them play, and it was...
Yeah,
they were really great.
Yeah, they're just a fantastic band, and fellow lefties also, I should say. Oh, yeah, or their guitarist is also left-handed like me, but
I think the drummer was left-handed too.
That's you, man. I don't know those things.
I think I remember.
Left-handed is this, right? Right-handed is
no,
I don't know.
This would be right-handed if this is hi-hat. So if he was left-handed, he would have been like this.
Oh, okay. I was thinking left hand lead or something. I don't know. That's people don't need to hear about.
No one cares.
But that was such a fun experience to get to do that. We have a great outtake where I just absolutely just fall right over.
I'm only smiling because I know you were okay, but in the moment,
I never fell down, too. That was another first. We played the Carousel, and I fell down for the first time playing. The best part of the call was that the band kept playing, and I was like, are we going to do this? And then I think the band kept playing the song as though it was just like as though I had been singing, and I got up and started singing the beginning of the song. I was like, oh, maybe we'll all just loop back around.
Yeah, but we just kept going because we thought you were just going to get up and keep going.
Well, we had to get the full take. But that's all right. I mean, we ended up getting a clean take anyway. Kind of hurt my wrist a little, but that's all right. I mean, I'm fine now, but it was just kind of one of those, like, you know, just kind of like banged it a little.
Did it look more painful than it was?
It looked just goofy. Like, it looked like, because I think it's just a smooth floor and not conducive for, like, shoes, like proper shoes, not sneakers.
Yeah.
Which, next 5 more years.
Next time we play the Carousel.
Yeah, 5 years from now when we get asked back to play the Carousel, I'll make sure to wear, like, trainers instead of just regular shoes so that I don't fall. But overall, like, great experience, I mean, Sunshine Spaz, they won, but, there were election irregularities.
So, most important thing is that we are gracious losers.
Yes, we are. We in defeat we concede gracefully. Yes.
Yes.
And go Sunshine Spaz. Like those a very deserving band.
Yeah, they deserve it.
Yeah. So the 2 songs we ended up playing that day were called "Follow You, Unfollow Me" and "Typical American." And the first song, "Follow You, Unfollow Me," as kind of the title was, I remember that old Genesis song, "Follow You, Follow Me." Mm-hmm. That old, like, nice, that classic Phil Collins ballad. But no, I had seen some article that said, like, social media makes it hard for me to lie. And I just thought of that line, because that repeats over and over at the end, make it hard for me to lie.
Yeah.
Make it hard for me to lie. And it's about, it's about people with different expectations, like 2 people with different expectations of one another. And, you're looking for something, but you're not communicating it. They're looking for something and they're not communicating it. And I don't know, I actually don't really have much of an explanation for the make it hard for me to lie part, because it doesn't have much to do with, like, the meat of the song is about communicating and aging, and the make it hard for me to lie part, I don't know, it's just the music, it may as well be a whole different song. But lying and truth and stuff like that's all kind of part of communication anyway. So maybe it's I'll figure it out before the album comes out, and then I'll retcon this whole thing.
I like how you introduce it by saying the song's about the internet.
Yeah.
That's like that story, just like condensed.
Yeah, I mean, and it is, it's interesting because I think now we, like everything, we're sort of swinging back around where I think people are realizing maybe we're a little too, it's not that we're too connected to one another, it's like everybody's a little too involved. Like life, you're not meant to know everything about me. I'm not meant to know everything about you. Like we're not, everybody's getting a little too involved in everybody else's, like, real inner workings, because everybody just feels the need to put it all out there for reasons that I don't really know, or much support.
I agree.
And so it almost makes it harder to communicate, because you leave out a lot of context.
Yeah, the way I interpreted that, the make it hard for me to lie, was that with people just putting everything about themselves out there, it's funny because I don't know anyone who does this, but I'm sure people do this all the time, where they just like embellish things about themselves. You know,
you don't know anybody who embellishes. We don't know anyone.
Take that back.
I'm sure we know plenty of people.
All right, let me say it a different way. The line "make it hard for me to lie" to me is like the people who use the internet as a way to like build up their persona, the way that they want it to be. But if you go too hard in that direction, you know, you can fact check some of that stuff.
Yeah.
The internet's like the double-edged sword, because you can like make this alternate persona, but at the same time, if you go too far with it and you start just making up lies about yourself, some of that someone else could use the internet to be like, no, that's not true.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
that was my interpretation.
And I think too, in a way too, it could almost be seen as like a dare, if you want to look at it that way too.
Oh,
like I dare you, like
dare
make
you
it hard.
To make it hard.
I dare you to make it hard for me. Almost like issuing a challenge, in a way.
The whole song's like a challenge. It's like, in a good way, it's like a musical challenge too.
Yeah.
Like it's my favorite song to play of all the ones we have.
Yeah, I think that's, because there's also another, you're talking about embellishment and stuff. Like there's, there's a line in there that's like, maybe this will prove to help my persona v myself. So there is like a little bit of that, maybe that embellishment will help. Like maybe that, I could see that in there.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's like the energy to it, and I don't know, it's deceptively simple, I think, because it doesn't sound like, it sounds like a pretty straightforward song, but there's such like an energy to it, and something, and when we hit the breakdown every time, and we all just start like losing it because there's such like a vibe going. I'd still my favorite one to play. I'd never get tired of it.
That's good. Yeah, and it's fun too when you have we really need to work a lot harder, and it's been a while since we played in front of people, so we'll see. But we need to make sure that the "Make It Hard for Me to Lie" section is the sing along.
Yeah,
I think that'd be really kind of fun and surreal. Just having a room shout "Make It Hard for Me to Lie" back at you.
Yeah.
I agree though. I don't get tired of playing that song. Sometimes I get a little tired playing that song because there's just so much like energy. I'm like, man, I just need to like exercise more.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to recording it, but at the same time I'm not, because I have to like pull back a little bit and practice because of how hard I want to be hitting.
Yeah, I know.
But when we're in the studio and you can just go off.
Yeah, bash away, man.
I'm gonna need to like prep, because if I'm gonna get more than one take in, I'm gonna need to pace myself a little.
Just a little.
I just want to like just go insane on that song.
Well, that's good. I'm glad. It's nice to have stuff like that where it's nice to have material that everybody enjoys playing. Like that's, instead of being like, here's a song, learn it.
Yeah.
It's nice to just say, like you've made it your own. Like, and that to me is just as important as coming to the band and saying like, here's a thing. Knowing that people enjoy, knowing that you enjoy playing it is like a big, it's a big deal to me. And it's very flattering. Thank you.
You're welcome. But I feel like we each have ownership of it too, though. Like, obviously you wrote it, but I feel like because we write our own parts, it does sort of create that ownership. So it's like, yes, this is a song that Brian wrote, but when we're playing it, it does still feel to me like it's my song, our song, whatever, like in part, because, we sort of finished it as a group.
Yeah, I agree with that. How about the other one?
Typical American.
Typical American.
With a K.
Yeah, with a K. And American.
Just one. K.
Yeah, but American, the word American with a K is actually means the fascist element of American politics. So that's like if you spell American with a K, it actually has like a sort of fascist, like it means American fascism essentially. It's not really a political song. I mean, it is and it isn't, because I always introduce it as like it's a song about driving, because there's just like a line about like the fast lane, but it's not even really, it's not the Eagles like laughing in the fast lane. It's it's really about, well, we talk about being overconnected in the last song. It's more about the disconnect, like the lack of understanding.
Yeah.
Just saying like, why are you doing this? Like, get out of my lane. Like,
right.
This doesn't make sense. Why are you here? What are you doing? What's going on? Like, it's about not understanding, but also it's about not trying to figure out why you don't understand. Like sometimes, you get introspective and you say like, why don't I get this? What's wrong? Like, how can I understand this better? And it's about not that.
Yeah.
And the fact that, American fascism or fascism in general is kind of rooted in this purposeful lack of understanding, that you are making a choice to not give a chance to somebody or some group that, at the very least, maybe deserves a chance, or maybe at the very, very least, deserves like your indifference. Like you don't have to be their friends, but just leave them alone.
Yeah.
And I think the purposeful lack of understanding is kind of what it's about.
Yeah, the line, I don't know the whole line, but the part where it ends with no one tells me what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
That to me was just, maybe it's also the time that we were like really working on it, but that just like hit home to me, like the idea that you're talking about the.
Well, yeah, because it's actually those two, like that part, like that coda is the first line is what is it? Don't you ever tell me what I'm thinking, and then don't you ever tell me what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
So there's just to kind of say like they make sense. They make sense, like they're complementary lines to one another.
But that really like illustrates the whole.
Because it's like you're being told what to think, but in a fashion that makes you say, don't tell me what I'm thinking, don't tell me what to think. But you're kind of being sold that anyway. Yeah.
It points out the hypocrisy, and also like.
And that's what the world needs. Like another white male songwriter in his 30s talking about hypocrisy in society. Yeah,
because we do live in a society.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't mean to make a joke about it. I'm not making a joke about the issues. I'm making a joke about the source, the delivery system, of the content. But yeah, it makes it is. There is like a hypocrisy that kind of goes on, and it sounds silly because we're almost in like a weird post-hypocrisy space right now. But that doesn't mean it's not important to still point it out and say like, this is somebody who's trying to advocate for free thought, but when you're trying to silence certain voices, that have historically been silenced, then that's not such a good idea.
Yeah. We have a demo of it out on Bandcamp.
Yeah.
And
if anybody wants to hear it.
I just remember about that time because we wanted it out by Juneteenth.
Yeah.
I think it was maybe we started it on or about like early June.
Yeah.
Right when all the the George Floyd stuff happened, and I think that was like the driver behind. I think I brought it to you.
Yeah, like, you were the one really driving that one, saying like, guys, let's get this done. Let's get this done.
It was like, what can we do? We got, just that helpless feeling, and what can you do about it? Mm-hmm. Well, there's not a whole lot we can do, but we have this vehicle and we have this song that brings up a lot of those feelings. Mm-hmm. And I had just like the drive, like we got to get this song out.
Yeah.
And so then we like scrambled to record remotely, obviously, because it's also still like prime pandemic time. But yeah, we got it recorded remotely, mixed and released it on Juneteenth.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we we added it to that Demos for a Difference project, and that all these like charity things. I know Juneteenth was because Bandcamp was giving all the proceeds.
Right.
To was it the NAACP or
it was a couple of different charities. They were one
Freedom
of them.
Fund, I think.
Yeah, Minnesota Freedom Fund, and then and
Demos was
NAACP Legal Defense.
Demos was the NAACP fund, Legal Defense Fund. But kind of getting that song on these like, getting it done on time and getting it out in these like charity outlets is, I agree. Like sometimes you kind of feel a little helpless.
Yeah.
Especially when gathering isn't really much of a thing. So you say, yeah, what can we do?
What do we got? We have this song that points out.
And I mean, that's things. Not like I don't want to pat us on the back.
No.
Be like, we saved America. Like,
no.
It's just, I don't know if we could help, get an extra couple of bucks into the hands of people who need it.
It was like, what can we do? We can put this song out that feels a little relevant at the moment, and we can funnel any money we get from it into a charity that needs it. That's all I meant. We were.
Yeah, no, I know that. I know that's what you meant. I just want to make sure like people know.
Yeah.
Like, look at these two guys patting themselves on the back, down, like they saved. We saved America.
No.
Like no, but I mean, there's every like a lot of bands did that. Like we were certainly not the only ones. And just happy to kind of do, I don't know, whatever like little tiny bit that we could, like you said, to try and get some money to the right places.
Yeah, that's also another fun one to play.
Yeah, I think that's the one. That's our one. When we play it live, people like, okay, yeah, that's a tune right there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think people have asked too. They're like, "Oh, is that on your album?" It's like, no, not yet.
Not yet.
But it'll get there. So it's cool though. It's cool to have a live version of it out too.
Yeah. There's such an energy with the live performance of it.
Yeah.
That I hope the record catches the energy of it, but
I think it will.
The demo sounds good, but I don't think it catches the energy the same way as when we're like really in it, playing it.
Yeah, I think we'll get there. Like we'll get the studio version there.
Yeah.
So what's next, Pete?
Well, since we played the Carousel, we have added a new band member.
Yeah, Becca Cristino.
We got ourselves a second guitarist.
Yeah, and she's awesome. We're really excited. I've always wanted a 5-piece band. It's like I feel like I finally put the final stone
Infinity
into
stone.
the Infinity Gauntlet.
It's really cool when we're practicing now to hear like all the different guitar parts on the EP that we're not used to hearing. And now when we're playing them, it sounds like the recording.
Yeah. And that's it's kind of funny because I guess in a way recording the EP was like a sort of shadow, like not an audition because she wasn't there yet, but just sort of this shadow pitch for being like, we need another guitarist. Like we need another.
Look at all these guitar parts I just
like,
played.
look,
I can't do this.
I can't do all of this by myself.
Yeah.
Because I remember in the beginning, we were like, it was just you, me, and Kevin for the first, I don't know, couple of months.
Yeah.
And just saying, well, you know what, like, should we maybe get a keyboard player, a second guitarist? We're like, nope, trio, that's it, power trio. It just, you know, everybody has 4 people in their band. It kind of looks cool, like when you show up and it's like, oh no, we only need the 3 of us, we're fine. And then we didn't relent and have Lisa, you know, and ask Lisa to join. We gladly, you know, had Lisa join. And then I remember you were like, 4 is enough. Like 4 is fine, Brian.
Yeah.
And you're like, nope, that's it. I'm like, I can't sell you on another one. You're like, nope, 4 is it. One day we're gonna add a 6th person.
No,
we're gonna
not.
wait another
No.
like year or 2. And I'd be like, you know, Pete, we could really use like a hand percussionist. Like a flautist.
Yeah, I'm just gonna nip that in the bud now.
No, 5 was kind of my aim. We hit the aim.
Yeah.
2 guitars, keys, bass, drums. It's not, you know, this overcrowded sound. That's what it sounds like on the record.
I was only against it because the chemistry that the 4 of us had developed in such a short amount of time was like, you know,
yeah.
Do we want to mess with that?
And the answer is yes, we do.
Well, yeah, it turned out great, of course, but at the time, like, not even before we had a name.
Yeah.
Like, not even attaching a name to it, just like the concept of adding a 5th person. But no, like one practice in, we were like, okay, yeah, this is good.
Yeah, that's it. We didn't need much. So we have, so I have no idea when we're going to actually finally get to play a show with this 5-piece lineup, but we haven't practiced much, but you know, when it's safe, when we feel okay to do it, we've gotten together and done a little bit and started working on a couple of songs. You know, the entire EP that's already out and the 2 songs that we did from the Carousel session and, you know, 1 or 2 other new ones.
Starting the long journey toward the next release.
Yeah, releases. I got you to say it on tape. Well, we're calling it, I want to make like a double album, but we're going to try to do one and then another, not...
We're going to make 2 albums and there's a difference.
In some people's minds, maybe it's a difference.
Released separately.
But yeah, so basically like we have enough material for 2 records. So we're gonna learn it and we're gonna arrange it and we're gonna see what if anything we can really make of it. And if it only ends up like, I'm not saying it has to be, but if it ends up as just 1 record and we end up cutting like 10 songs, that's fine. Like I don't want to force it. It's just, you know, I think there's enough decent stuff.
We got enough to work with.
Yeah.
If that ends up happening, it's gonna be a crazy good album.
Yeah, or the best EP you've ever heard.
Right. We're up to like 22.
We have 22 songs, yeah.
Including the 2 that we played at the Carousel.
Yeah.
22.
Yeah, 20.
Various stages.
Yeah, those 2 and 20 others.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's next. If and whenever we can get to it. Publicly introducing our latest member and, you know, really pounding the pavement with this new stuff. I don't know when. I have no idea. Like no expectation for when it's going to come. It's going to take us at least a year, I think, to put it all together. Like arrangement wise, not even recording. So it might be a little while.
It'll be worth it.
But you know, we're doing this summer. We're gonna do a cover, like a single for a movie compilation called Mint 400 at the Movies Volume 2, and we're gonna be covering "Don't You Forget About Me" by Simple Minds from the movie Breakfast Club. So you're gonna hear stuff from us it's just, it might be a little while. And, I'm sure we'll have singles too before the proper albums come out. But,
yeah, I would love to do like what we did with Typical with Follow You.
Yeah. Okay.
Have like a demo of sorts out there, just, keep everyone's attention.
I'll just record the whole dang thing. Let's just do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, okay. There, you heard it first. So we'll do a single for Follow You, Unfollow Me. Maybe after we do the cover.
Yeah, or around the same time.
And our Christmas record too.
You're just throwing it all out there. I thought you were going to keep some of this under wraps for later.
I don't know. Who knows?
Don't just give it all away.
All right. We'll retract that.
No one's going to come back after this. You just told them everything.
Just told them everything. That's fine.
Well, if it's your last time joining us, it's been fun. So you can, if you're interested, follow us on Instagram and Facebook at The Extensions Band. We do have a YouTube channel. We don't have a custom name for it, but
yeah,
it's linked.
You need like a lot of followers to do that. So follow us on YouTube.
It's linked on everything else. The link to the YouTube is there.
Yeah, I think the best would be like go to our Instagram at The Extensions Band and click on the
link in bio. All the links are there.
Yeah. And of course, special thanks to our other three members, Kevin Newcomb, Lisa Lovell, and Becca Cristino, who unfortunately could not all be here today. And to Dave and everybody at We Star Productions, to all the charities, Asbury Park Transformative Justice Project, Westside Citizens United, to Scott and Meg at the Saint, to Madison Marquette and the Asbury Park Toy Drive for letting us use the Carousel. We really, really appreciate it. And if you want to keep great content like this going, go to WeStarProductions.co and make a donation. They are a 501c3 nonprofit. Once again, WeStarProductions.co. Go there, make a donation.